English story reading. Anya sighed, staring at her reflection. She yearned to speak English fluently, to express herself without hesitation. The world felt smaller, limited by her linguistic boundaries. Every day, she dreamed of confident conversations, lively debates, and understanding global cultures firsthand. Her desire was immense, yet a heavy chain held her back constantly. "I don't want to make mistakes, but I always do," she whispered. This thought haunted her, an unwelcome echo in her mind. It paralyzed her tongue, stopping words before they even formed. The fear of mispronunciation, of grammar errors, loomed large, a terrifying monster blocking her path forward. It was an endless, frustrating cycle. She meticulously studied textbooks, memorized vocabulary lists, and consumed countless hours of English media. She was an excellent listener, understanding much more than she could ever articulate. Yet, when an opportunity arose to speak, her throat tightened, her palms sweated, and her mind went utterly blank. This silence was deafening. How to talk with anyone, she often wondered, scrolling through online forums. The question felt impossibly vast, an insurmountable mountain standing before her. She saw others chatting effortlessly, exchanging jokes and opinions. Their ease was a stark contrast to her internal struggle, making her feel even more isolated and inadequate. Every search for how to learn English returned a deluge of advice, immersion, grammar drills, flashcards, language partners. It was overwhelming, a sea of conflicting methods. She tried some, then abandoned others, feeling like she was adrift without a clear compass. The sheer volume of options left her more confused than before. One day, determined to break the cycle, Anya decided to commit fully. She downloaded a popular language learning app and dedicated an hour daily. She repeated phrases, completed exercises, and felt a tiny spark of progress. However, translating textbook knowledge into spontaneous speech remained her biggest, most daunting challenge. Her British friend, Liam, noticed Anya's quiet struggle during their occasional video calls. He patiently waited for her responses, never rushing, always encouraging. Liam's gentle demeanor made her feel slightly less anxious about speaking, but the ingrained fear of error persisted, a stubborn shadow in her bright aspirations. "Why, I always make mistakes," she confided in Liam one evening, her voice small. "It's so embarrassing." Liam smiled kindly. "Everyone makes mistakes, Anya. It's how we learn. Think of them as signposts, guiding you towards understanding. They are not failures, but essential steps on your learning journey." Liam suggested a new approach: listen and practice, start step-by-step talking. He explained that true fluency wasn't about perfection, but about effective communication. He urged her to focus on getting her message across, even if it wasn't grammatically flawless. His words resonated deeply within her troubled heart. "Let's talk in British English," he offered, making her laugh. "We'll start with simple conversations, little by little. Just a few minutes each day. Don't worry about sounding perfect. The goal is just to speak, to get comfortable with the sounds and rhythms. You'll surprise yourself." Anya hesitated, but Liam's sincerity was infectious. She agreed. Their first few sessions were awkward. She fumbled for words, her mind racing to translate. Sometimes, she'd just nod, unable to formulate a proper reply. Yet, Liam's patience never wavered, a constant source of calm encouragement for her. Liam would gently rephrase her sentences, providing the correct structure without making her feel corrected. He showed her common British idioms and intonations. He emphasized that accent wasn't as crucial as clarity. This subtle guidance slowly chipped away at her ingrained fear of imperfection, one conversation at a time. She started listening differently. Instead of just understanding content, she paid attention to how sentences were formed, how native speakers linked words. This conscious listening improved her pronunciation and rhythm. She mimicked phrases, repeating them softly to herself, trying to capture the subtle nuances of spoken English. The step-by-step talking advice proved revolutionary. Instead of trying to construct complex sentences, Anya focused on simple exchanges. "Hello, how are you?" "Yes, please." Each small success built her confidence, like tiny bricks forming a solid wall. She felt a glimmer of hope finally emerge. She began to view mistakes not as embarrassing failures, but as valuable feedback. When she mispronounced a word, Liam would repeat it correctly, and she would try again. It was a learning loop, a process of continuous refinement. The shame she once felt slowly began to dissipate with each attempt. Anya realized the best way to learn English wasn't a secret formula found in a book. It was consistent, brave, imperfect practice. It was daring to open her mouth even when her voice trembled. It was embracing the process, not just chasing the elusive outcome of flawless speech. Her conversations with Liam became more fluid. She started asking questions, expressing opinions, even telling short anecdotes. The fear of judgment still lingered faintly, but it no longer dominated her every thought. A new sense of freedom blossomed within her, pushing away old anxieties. One afternoon, while talking to Liam, she accidentally used a British slang term she had only heard him use before. Liam chuckled, genuinely pleased. "Excellent, Anya," he exclaimed. That small, unforced moment of natural speech felt like a significant breakthrough, a testament to her consistent efforts. She found herself speaking English in her thoughts, mentally rehearsing conversations, and even dreaming in English occasionally. The language was slowly integrating itself into her daily life, becoming less of a foreign concept and more of a familiar tool. This unconscious immersion was incredibly powerful. Anya started seeking out opportunities to talk with anyone in English. She joined an online international book club. Initially, she was hesitant to contribute verbally, preferring to type her comments. But the discussions were so engaging, she found herself wanting to participate actively, to truly engage. Her first verbal contribution to the book club was just a few stuttered sentences, but she did it. No one laughed. Instead, they listened patiently and responded thoughtfully. This positive reinforcement was incredibly empowering, chipping away at the remnants of her shyness and self-doubt. She noticed her vocabulary growing organically, not just from memorization, but from context during conversations. Idioms that once seemed alien now made sense. Her brain was building connections, creating a network of understanding that felt much more natural and sustainable than rote learning. The realization dawned on her: the answer to why I always make mistakes was simply because she was learning. Mistakes were not character flaws, they were just indicators of areas needing more practice. This changed her entire perspective, transforming frustration into productive curiosity and growth. She became an advocate for speaking, even if imperfectly. Don't wait for perfection, she would tell herself. Just speak. This mantra became her guiding principle, liberating her from the mental shackles that had held her captive for so long, preventing true progress. She started recording herself speaking, then listening back. It felt awkward at first, hearing her own voice, but it was invaluable for identifying areas for improvement. She noticed her pronunciation improving, her intonation becoming more natural, and her flow getting much smoother over time. The joy of understanding a complex sentence, or correctly using a tricky verb tense in conversation, became her greatest motivation. These small victories fueled her desire to continue. Each successful interaction validated her efforts and pushed her further along her language journey. She understood that listen and practice was not a one-time event, but a continuous loop. She constantly sought out new podcasts, British dramas, and online lectures. Every new piece of content provided fresh opportunities for listening, absorbing new phrases and accents. Her conversations with Liam, which started as structured practice, evolved into genuine friendship. They talked about anything and everything, from global news to their daily lives. The language barrier had dissolved, replaced by a comfortable, easy flow of communication and mutual respect. Anya even managed to give a short presentation in English for her work, something that would have been unimaginable just months prior. Her hands still trembled slightly, but her voice was clear, her message coherent. A wave of pride washed over her, a truly exhilarating moment. The compliments she received, not for her flawless grammar, but for her clear communication, reinforced the lesson: focus on conveying meaning. People appreciated her effort and clarity far more than any minor linguistic imperfection. This boosted her confidence immensely and propelled her forward. She realized that how to learn English was less about methods and more about mindset. It was about persistence, resilience, and a willingness to step outside her comfort zone repeatedly. The journey was not always smooth, but every challenge made her stronger, more determined. Anya now approached new English speakers with genuine curiosity, not crippling anxiety. She saw every interaction as a chance to learn, to connect. The world truly did feel bigger now, filled with possibilities she hadn't dared to imagine before. Her confidence soared with each new connection. The old question, "I don't want to make mistakes but I always why," faded into the background. She understood that mistakes were part of the process, vital for improvement. They were simply data points, guiding her path, not defining her ability or her worth as a learner. She encouraged her friends who were also learning English. Just start, she advised. Don't wait. Listen actively, practice speaking, even if it's just to yourself. Every single word counts. The journey is long, but it's incredibly rewarding, believe me. She shared Liam's advice, particularly the start step-by-step talking method. Many found it empowering, realizing they didn't need to be perfect from day one. Breaking down the enormous task into smaller, manageable steps made it far less intimidating for everyone involved. Her listening skills had become exceptional. She could follow complex dialogues, understand regional accents, and even discern subtle humor. This deepened her appreciation for English culture, especially when watching British shows or listening to podcasts with authentic British voices. Anya started a small online community where people could practice talking with anyone, focusing on supportive, judgment-free conversations. It became a safe space for learners to make mistakes freely, to laugh, and to learn from each other's experiences. The group thrived quickly. The transformation was profound. From a hesitant, shy learner, Anya had become a confident, articulate speaker. She wasn't flawless, but she was fluent, and most importantly, she was fearless. Her journey was a testament to perseverance and the power of changing perspective. She continued to embrace the Let's Talk in British English influence, finding the nuances of the accent and vocabulary charming. It added a layer of fun to her learning, making it feel less like a chore and more like an exciting exploration of a new linguistic world. Every time she successfully navigated a conversation, she felt a surge of accomplishment. These moments, big and small, fueled her passion for language. She knew that the best way to learn English was truly her own unique path, built on consistent effort and bold communication. Anya learned that language was alive, constantly evolving, and so was her learning journey. There was no finish line, only continuous growth. This realization freed her from the pressure of absolute perfection, allowing her to enjoy the ongoing process of discovery. She understood that "why I always make mistakes" was no longer a question of personal failing, but a natural consequence of stretching her linguistic boundaries. Each mistake was a new opportunity for learning, a chance to refine her understanding and expression. Her initial anxiety about how to talk with anyone had been replaced by genuine enthusiasm. She now eagerly sought out opportunities to connect, understanding that every conversation, no matter how brief, contributed to her fluency and confidence in spoken English. The advice to listen and practice became ingrained in her daily routine. She would listen to a podcast while cooking, then practice repeating challenging phrases aloud. This constant engagement kept her skills sharp and her learning momentum strong. Her journey was a powerful testament to the idea that perseverance trumps perfection. The fear of making errors often prevents people from even starting, but Anya had bravely pushed through that barrier, demonstrating the incredible rewards awaiting on the other side. She reflected on how far she had come from those initial, frustrating moments. The shy, hesitant learner had blossomed into a confident communicator, comfortable expressing herself in a foreign tongue. It was a remarkable personal transformation, truly inspiring to witness. The freedom of expression in English felt like unlocking a new superpower. She could access information, connect with diverse individuals, and immerse herself in different cultures without relying on translations. The world had truly opened up for her. Anya often thought of Liam, her patient guide, whose simple advice had transformed her entire approach. His gentle encouragement and consistent belief in her capabilities had been instrumental in her journey, a truly invaluable source of support. She still made mistakes sometimes, of course. But they no longer brought shame or despair. Instead, they were quickly corrected, perhaps noted for future practice, and then moved past. They were part of the natural, joyful flow of learning. Her story became an inspiration for others, proving that consistent effort and a brave attitude can overcome any linguistic hurdle. She demonstrated that the best way to learn English is personalized, persistent, and powered by embracing imperfection. Anya now confidently navigated international conferences, actively participating in discussions. She found immense satisfaction in bridging cultural gaps, something she once believed was an impossible dream. Her voice, once hesitant, now carried conviction and clarity. She discovered that connecting with native speakers was the most enriching part of her journey. It wasn't just about language acquisition, but about building genuine relationships and understanding diverse perspectives firsthand, enriching her life immensely. Her initial obsession with grammar rules had given way to an intuitive understanding. She spoke English naturally, allowing the rules to guide her without paralyzing her. This organic learning felt far more effective and enjoyable than rigid study sessions. The process of starting step-by-step talking had been crucial, preventing her from feeling overwhelmed. Each small success had paved the way for larger achievements, demonstrating the power of consistent, incremental progress over daunting leaps. Anya's journey from fear to fluency stands as a testament to embracing mistakes, active listening, and daring to speak. She proved that the true path to mastering English is paved with practice, patience, and a powerful shift in perspective.